Hello all. This is something that needs to be taken very seriously, and I urge you to please watch completely and then go and read the article, which you will find in the comments section below, in the Dubris. You'll find it down there. So without further ado, I want to go straight into this because I think this is something that needs to be widely heard. Childline website hijacked. This is from the Telegraph. Childline website hijacked by trans lobby over advice to teenagers. We've already seen the fall, or the pending fall, I hope, of mermaids and what they've been involved in. Believe me, I imagine there are other organisations that are far more disturbing than this, but this one is disturbing in a great way because it deals with children. This is the NSPCC, which was set up, as you know, by Esther Ranson. I think we'll come to that in the article. It's important that this is spread far and wide. Please do share. Charities chat room feedback includes reference to controversial treatments such as hormone blockers and breast binding. Childline has been accused of failing children after teenagers who believed they were trans were told via its website to seek potentially dangerous treatments behind their parents' backs. It's queer theory, folks. We're back there again. Messages posted in chat rooms hosted by the charity advised girls as young as 14 to bind their breasts and take hormone blockers without their parents' knowledge. This is the NSP. This is Childline. Can't just. In other messages, children who question whether gender dysphoria might be simply a mental health issue are told they are being transphobic and offensive. This is not a mistake. This is not an oops. This is serious. Really serious. Critics said the charity, which is partly funded by government grants, has failed in its safeguarding duty by allowing its website to be hijacked by the transgender lobby as a platform for harmful advice. The Charities Commission has said it was aware of concerns about Childline and was currently deciding whether to investigate. What is it going to take? My anger for these bodies is very real. Very real. God almighty. They're telling girls to bind their breasts, and they're telling people who ask, is it a mental illness to want to cut bits off yourself, that they're transphobic. Charities Commission, what red flag do you need to swing into action? What red flag do you need that makes you go, right, today? Trans ideation, gender identity ideology, and queer theory are a red flag. It's the only one you need. The only one you need in order to begin your investigation. I'm so angry. Childline was founded in 1986 by Dame Esther Ranson, and has the Duchess of Edinburgh as its patron, has more than 15,000 entries in its online message boards devoted to gender. They're providing online message boards to children. What are you doing? Close them! The messages were highlighted on social media by James Esses, a former Childline counsellor who has asked to leave after raising concerns that the charity had been captured by the trans lobby. There's your evidence, Charity Commission. Stop farting about! One message from a 14-year-old girl who wanted to transition to being a boy said her periods were making her feel dysphoric and her mother would not allow her to take hormone blockers. Good for that mother. Good for that mother. Well done, mother. A reply from a fellow 14-year-old trans guy said, you could look into starting hormone blockers without your mum's knowledge. Now, Richie Tulip has spoken quite at length and significantly and with passion and authenticity about the grooming that goes on online by trans TQ plus nutters. And this is it online happening. A Childline. A Childline. Other children inquiring about breast binding were told by fellow chatroom users where to buy breast binding equipment, which can cause broken ribs and skin problems. Another 14-year-old said, I'm struggling with my gender identity. I am female at birth, but I feel more male than female. I hate my breasts and feel like they shouldn't be there. On days I do feel like a girl, on others I feel more like a boy. I don't know what to do, hoping you could give me some advice. I can't, words, there aren't any. There are no words. The website's Ask Sam service, written by Childline staff, advised that some transgender people bind their breasts to get over the problem. Dear love of God. For the love of God! Cass has already said social transition is iatrogenic. I've talked about it being iatrogenic before, and I think I will again. It's either before or after this one, but that's just insane. They told them to get over, to combine their breasts to get over the problem, adding that it should be done in consultation with a doctor, because wearing something tight on your chest can cause medical problems and physical damage. You don't need a doctor to tell you that. You don't need a doctor to tell you that binding your chest because you feel like a male is a mental problem and an educational one that needs real hard interventions. Hard interventions. All of the messages are moderated before they are published, according to Childline. They've seen it written, they've read it prior to publication, and they published it. Childline are supporters of gender identity ideology and queer theory. Childline believe that there is a gendered soul that is slipped into a flesh sack and a God who sometimes gets it wrong. Childline are captured by the TQ plus nutters. It's not complicated. Heather Binning, founder of the Women's Rights Network, said it was just appalling that Childline was allowing its website to be used as a forum for giving advice that could cause potential future long-term harm to vulnerable children. She said, where is the safeguarding? Precisely. There's no other lens to see this through than safeguarding. Who are the people giving this advice? Are they medically qualified? Adults are letting down children here. They have allowed this to happen, and either these messages are not being moderated or otherwise the moderators are afraid to speak out. Well, they are being moderated because they've confirmed they're being moderated. The only thing for bad things to happen, all that we need to do is to stay silent, you good people. All that good people need to do for bad things to happen is to stay silent. Get off the bench. Get off the bench. Say something. Reach out to someone. Start a private conversation. I think I may have this wrong is a really good line to start with. There isn't one person in the movement who won't, if you reach out to them, say to you, it's okay, we can talk about this, and you can say whatever you want to say. It'll get heated. It'll be difficult. You have to swallow some truths you don't want to swallow. But that's what learning is. That's how we move forward. You know, because learning is grief. You have to let go of what you believed or what you thought was right before. Now's the time. If you've got any doubts about all this TQ plus nonsense, about all the stuff that's going on, reach out to someone who you know is in the movement. Look at their resources. Talk to them. Message them. You can start. Just small. That's all it takes is one step and you'll begin. Right? That's what it takes. I've done it. With loads of people. They take one step and then off they go, and then eventually they talk to somebody else and they bring somebody else along who says, hang on a minute, this doesn't seem right. And then you can talk to people and look at resources that will explain to you why it isn't. Get off the bench. Childline is a subsidiary of the NSPCC. The whole thing needs investigating. And receives funding through legacies, donations and government grants. Its latest accounts show an annual income of 1.1 million. They all need to go. They've just got to go. Any good that they've done is outdone by all this. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry. You don't sacrifice children so you can do other good. No, that's not how it works. Mr. Esses claimed he had been contacted by Childline staff who feel under pressure to affirm children who have gender dysphoria. Yeah, he's not the only one. He also tweeted a photograph of a pride flag with an intersex symbol on it hanging in the window of Childline's counselling room in London, captured, which he had raised questions about the neutrality of the service, which he said raised questions. He also said that when he worked at Childline, the counselling room had posters printed by the controversial LGBT rights group Stonewall saying, some people are trans, get over it. Just some people are mentally ill, get over it. No. A growing number of organisations have distanced themselves from Stonewall over its extreme stances on transgender issue. Mr. Esses said, Childline is meant to be a neutral mental health service free from bias, yet this ideological symbol sends a clear warning to counsellors and children alike not to step out of line. Don't go to Childline. It is imperative that the Charity Commission conduct an investigation into Childline and the NSPCC. I echo that request. If vulnerable children in our society are not safe contacting Childline, where are they safe? Currently nowhere. Parents, I know it's hard, but you've got to step up. You've got to get yourself knowledgeable, and you've got to do it quick. Your children's future depends on it. A spokesman for the Charity Commission said, we are aware of concerns about Childline service provision and are assessing the information to determine whether or not this is a matter for the Commission. I just can't. This inertia. You're doing it with mermaids, do it with them. This inertia. An NSPCC spokesperson said, Childline is and always has been here for every child, no matter the issue or concern. Our trained counsellors provide support and impartial advice to children and young people to explore their feelings in a non-directed way. See, it's all about feelings. Right? Feelings lead nowhere, okay? What we need people to do is to think. Stop feeling. You're hurting people. Good afternoon, this is Childline. Can I help you? Yes, I think I'm having problems with my gender identity. Did you know that gender identity is an invented concept made up by a guy called John Money that led to the suicide of two people? Did you know that? No, I didn't. Tell me more. They offer advice on how to cope with worries, how to discuss concerns with trusted adults in their lives, and they signpost to available external support. The Childline message boards are a place where young people can express themselves and seek and offer support to each other on any issue or problem. They don't know a damn thing. You've got a bunch of idiots on a board who are too young to have any sense of what the real world is, talking to people about a world that isn't even real. What the hell are you facilitating? In terms of the Childline volunteer leaving Childline, we respect people's views, people's rights to hold different views. This is not about different views. This is about right or wrong. You nut jobs. We discussed the situation at length with the volunteer, tried hard to find a solution, but we couldn't find a compromise. That's because there is no compromise. You don't both sides this. It's wrong. Based on a falsity. Spread by lies. Absolutely dependent on feeling, not thinking. You have to adhere. You, Childline, and the NSPCC are enabling a cult. It's not complicated. Please share this far and wide. This message needs to go out there. The Charity Commission needs to step in. And if the Charity Commission doesn't have the power to do it, the government needs to give the Charity Commission the power to do it. The eradication of gender identity ideology, queer theory, critical race theory, all the crap that comes under the critical social justice banner from our organisations and institutions is a priority. After we safeguard the children. Goodbye.